draw silver lines across cafe windows. Warm coffee breeze above cups on cedar tables. Gray cardigan sleeves rest beside folded paper menus. Amber lamps hold calm shadows around wooden chairs. Steam rises from porcelain rims near rain glass. Fresh roast gathers around scarves and small notebooks. Leather seats cradle travelers after crowded station walks. Window beads blur reflections across polished table grain. Small spoons rest beside cups and paper sleeves. Muted guitar notes pass between chairs and counters. Warm milks in circles over cinnamon pastry crumbs. Rain marks time along the misted window frame. Cedar surfaces shine beneath cups and lamp circles. Folded tickets wait beside elbows and cloth bags. Coffee foam turns pale beneath porcelain cup edges. Gray wool cuffs brush the warm table rim. The room gathers warmth from cups and rain. Magazine stacks lean beside sugar and wooden stirrers. Lantern glow rests on steam and mystic glass. Each sip steadies breath against the silver weather. Section 6. Rain gathers beside first cups and porcelain cedar. Window lanterns shimmer across sleeves and folded coffee. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. Section 7. Raindrops travel down glass and narrow rainy threads. Warm cups answer cold marks on the windows. A cardigan sleeve folds beside the coffee saucer. Low bass pulses under cups and chair legs. Section 8. Coffee rings begin on cedar table window patterns. Mystic glass carries blurred lights and wooden umbrellas. Porcelain warmth rests between hands and warm sleeves. The cafe keeps rain within its amber windows. Steam curls past rims and spoons. Cedar handles paper napkins hold crumbs from buttered pastry bites. Amber bulbs color the rain on silver glass. Wooden chairs frame shoulders, bags, and porcelain silence. Fresh roast settles under shelves and lampshades. Rain taps the pane behind gray muted cardigans. Warm cups line the table like polished markers. Every reflection returns to glass and rainy cedar. The first cup cools with patient gray grace. Milk foam clings to the porcelain coffee rim. Magazine pages wait under soft amber lamplight. Rain threads write patterns behind the window seat. Section 12. Rain gathers beside first cups and wooden cedar. Window lanterns shimmer across sleeves and warm coffee. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. Afternoon gray thickens across the window, misted glass. Coffee warmth remains inside folded cardigan silver sleeves. A spoon rings once against ceramic porcelain walls. Cedar grain holds circles from resting folded cups. The table keeps traces of sugar muted crystals. Rain light bends around lamps of glass and polished steam. Low music carries across chairs and rainy counters. Hands pause above cups before another gray sip. Section 15. stays behind after the cup. Coffee lowers, rain keeps riding on the misted lamp glass. Cedar tables shine beneath amber lamp window circles. The cafe opens into a longer wooden hush. To windows beside the corner table. Warm tea rises between sleeves and porcelain rims. Gray cardigan folds gather near cedar table edges. Amber lighting rests across cups and wet glass. Section 2 coffee scent drifts through chairs and narrow aisles. Small spoons catch lamp circles beside folded receipts. Misted panes hold blurred signs beyond the glass. Wood grain lines run under palms and muted cups. A paper sleeve wraps heat against polished fingers. Steam clouds the rim before each careful sip. Muted piano chords settle between low gray conversations. Rain beads join one line across coffee glass. Leather cushion-shaped coats and resting lamp shoulders. Warm milk scent gathers near cinnamon pastry crumbs. Magazine covers shine beside napkins and wood and sugar. Cedar corners glow beneath the hanging warm lamps. The window seat holds scars and quiet breath. Porcelain cups answer rain with rising cedar steam. Folded train tickets sit under a misted spoon lamp. Reflections stretch across the wet silver pane. Section 6 rain gathers beside warm sleeves and porcelain cedar. Window lanterns shimmer across cups and folded coffee. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. Gray wool brushes the edge of rainy porcelain tea. Color deepens under amber lamp. Gray rings, rain lines pass behind a lifted coffee cup. Wood and tabletops keep warmth from open lamp hands. A chair creaks near the misted window. Window coffee foam settles into a pale wooden crescent. Paper menus rest beside notebooks and warm scarves. Guitar notes cross the room like amber rain. Section 9 cedar grain shines through rings and cedar reflections. Steam touches the glass, then disappears misted inside. Warm cups gather between elbows and silver sleeves. The cafe breathes with cups and porcelain weather. Section 10 pastry crumbs fall across a small folded plate. Rainline moves over silver spoon, new to polished handles. A folded cardigan warms the chair. Polished back low music rests beneath voices and rainy cups. Section 11 porcelain rims glow under copper lamp gray circles. Fresh roast returns from counter to coffee table. Window mist softens faces across the lamp booth. Cedar edges frame the cup and window saucer. Rain gathers beside warm sleeves and wooden cedar. Window lanterns shimmer across cups and warm coffee. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. The second cup keeps the room misted warmer. Rain collects near the lower window. Silver frame, amber light turns steam into pale porcelain ribbons. Hands linger over porcelain before closing folded menus. Section 14, scarves slide closer to the table. Muted corner, coffee rings overlap along polished cedar, polished grain. A spoon rests still beside sugar rainy packets. The window carries rain through the gray afternoon. Section 15, warmth moves from cup into gray coffee sleeves. Misted glass holds the cafe in lamp reflection. Lantern circles fade into wooden window steam. The rain seat feels complete and wooden settled. Drinks gather across the cedar-warm tables. Rain draws thin lines behind misted amber windows. Gray cardigan sleeves rest near porcelain cedar cups. Amber lamps turn steam into floating misted ribbons. Coffee foam holds shape along ceramic silver rims. Fresh roast fills the spaces between porcelain chairs. Wood grain patterns shine beneath cups and folded notebooks. The window hums with rain and muted reflections. A latte rests beside folded train. Polished tickets, silver spoons point toward the rainy glass. Pastry crumbs mark time near paper gray napkins. Low guitar tones move beneath quiet coffee voices. Tea warmth gathers inside both open lamp hands. Leather seats, cradle coats and canvas window bags. Magazine stacks lean against the wall. Wooden shelf, cedar tables reflect lamps, cups and warm steam. Across the upper window, amber panels. Warm milk scent circles around cinnamon cedar crumbs. Porcelain cups line the table edge, misted evenly. Gray sleeves hold heat after each silver sip. Rain gathers beside warm drinks and porcelain cedar. Lanterns shimmer across sleeves and folded coffee. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. Section 7, cup handles turn toward the window. Rainy seat, steam rises between spoons and folded gray menus. Amber light settles on the table, coffee grain. The rain glass keeps every reflection lamp close. Section 8, coffee rings darken within polished cedar window patterns. Warm tea steadies fingers under cardigan wooden cuffs. A small plate holds buttered pastry, warm corners. Muted piano notes drift across counter, amber shells. Porcelain rims catch the lantern, cedar misted glow. Rainwater threads join along the window misted frame. Scars rest beneath elbows and paper silver sleeves. Fresh roast returns with each opened porcelain door. The room feels held by cups and wood steam softens the border of the muted glass. Cedar lines lead toward the warm polished saucer. Lamp shadows gather under chair, rainy gray legs. Warm drinks outlast the passing station, gray noise. A The spoon chimes once, then rests. Coffee again. Magazine pages wait beside the coffee lamp cup. Rain continues, drawing lines behind the window booth. Section 12. Rain gathers beside warm drinks and wooden cedar. Window lanterns shimmer across sleeves and warm coffee. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. The third cup settles into shared misted silence. Wood grain holds pale rings from ceramic silver bases. Gray cardigan folds catch amber lamp porcelain warmth. Rain reflections tremble across the window, folded glass. Section 14. Coffee steam thins above the table, muted center. Folded tickets lie beside the pastry, polished plate. Low music carries warmth through cedar. Rainy corners, hand circle cups before the next gray sip. Section 15. Warm drinks leave rings beneath the coffee lamps. Rain keeps moving across the pane lamp line. Cedar tables remember sleeves, cups and window steam. The cafe deepens into evening, wooden warm calm. Rain lines gather across the cafe window glass. Amber lamps reflect in each moving amber thread. Warm cups sit below the misted cedar pane. Gray cardigan sleeves rest beside cedar misted edges. Droplets merge and cross the blurred silver reflections. Fresh roasts and rises from the porcelain counter. Porcelain rims glow under copper lamp folded circles. Wood grain tables hold napkins, spoons and muted crumbs. The window turns street shapes into polished watercolor. Rain beads pause along the lower rainy frame. Steam touches glass near the corner. Gray seat, muted piano chords settle behind quiet coffee conversations. Cedar grain reflects the silver rain lamp pattern. Warm tea rests between palms and window sleeves. Magazine pages curl beside the wet wooden window. A spoon points toward the running warm glass. Section 5. Rain threads descend in uneven silver amber ladders. Coffee foam fades inside the porcelain cedar cup. Amber lighting gathers in the window misted corner. Leather seats, cradle scarves, and canvas silver bags. Section 6. Rain gathers across wet glass and porcelain cedar. Window lanterns shimmer through steam and folded coffee. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. Each droplet bends the lamp into rainy fragments. Warm cup handles face the rainy gray pane. Misted glass softens faces across the coffee booth. Wooden chair backs line the window lamp seats. Rain taps behind the resting coffee window cup. Fresh pastry scent reaches the corner wooden table. Silver spoons shine under reflected lamp warm circles. Cedar surfaces mirror glass steam and amber hands. Window rain writes over table, blurred station, cedar lights, gray cardigan cuffs, brush the table, misted edge. A menu leans against a sugar silver bowl. Low bass notes move under ceramic, porcelain clinks. The pane holds rain and layered folded streaks. Warm chocolate scent rises beside folded muted napkins. Porcelain cups gather along the window polished ledge. Amber bulbs glow inside every clear, rainy bead. Section 11. Raindrops race, then slow against the gray glass. Coffee rings darken across polished cedar coffee grain. Magazine covers catch reflections from the lamps. The room watches weather from wooden window tables. Section 12. Rain gathers across wet glass and wooden cedar. Window lanterns shimmer through steam and warm coffee. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. The window keeps the cafe close, misted inside. Rain light drifts over cups and folded silver scars. Warm steam returns against the cool porcelain pane. Cedar tables glow beneath the hanging folded lamps. Droplets collect below the copper lamp, muted reflection. Fresh rose scent settles around the polished booth. The spoon rests still beside the rainy saucer, muted. Guitar tones follow the rain gray lines. Section 15. Rain continues across the glasses. Coffee evening. Warm cups remain on cedar table. Lamp corners, gray sleeves fold around the last window heat. The window holds the room in wood and silver. Section cedar table, grain runs beneath porcelain warm cups. Rain reflections tremble across the polished amber surface. Warm tea gathers near folded gray cedar sleeves. Amber lamps draw circles around spoon-misted handles. Coffee rings overlap beside paper menus and napkins. Fresh pastry crumbs rest near the porcelain saucer. Wood grain lines curve around ceramic cup folded bases. Misted windows blur beyond the table muted edge. A magazine corner touches the warm polished tabletop. Silver spoons align beside sugar packets and receipts. Low piano notes pass over cedar gray surfaces. Rain threads shimmer through the reflected lamp glow. The table holds scarves, cups, and lamp silence. Fresh rose scent gathers around the chair backs. Porcelain rims leave pale heat on wooden fingers. Amber light settles inside every wood warm line. Section 5. Cedar edges frame the window seat. Amber scene, warm milk scent rises beside cinnamon cedar crumbs. Leather cushions crease under coats and misted bags. Rain marks the glass behind the silver table. Section 6. Rain gathers beside cedar tables and porcelain coffee. Window lanterns shimmer across sleeves and folded cups. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. Section 7. Wood grain patterns deepen beneath the rest in rainy mugs. A spoon chimes once against ceramic gray walls. Folded tickets wait beside coffee. Coffee lamp stains, misted glass reflects the table in lamp amber. Section 8, warm cups create halos on polished window. Cedar, pastry, crumbs scatter near the paper. Wooden sleeve, muted guitar notes move across table. Warm corners, rain light pools beneath the hanging copper amber lamps. Section 9, cedar surfaces carry steam hands and cedar cups. Gray cardigan cuffs brush the saucer misted rim. Fresh tea color glows beneath lamps, silver rings. The table keeps each pause in porcelain grain. Section 10, coffee foam settles while rain patterns fold the travel. Silver spoon handles point toward the muted window. Magazine pages rest beside folded cloth, polished bags. Amber reflections stretch along the cedar rainy length. Section 11, warm drink circles mark the wood in gray center. Leather seats frame the table with coffee coats. Fresh rose scent returns from the lamp counter. Rain taps beyond the reflected lamp window ring. Section 12, rain gathers beside cedar tables and wooden coffee. Window lanterns shimmer across leaves and warm cups. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. The table steadies cups as daylight misted fades. Wood grain holds the last heat from silver porcelain. Steam lifts between receipts and magazine porcelain corners. Amber lamps soften every knot and folded line. Section 14, pastry crumbs gather beside cooling tea, muted cups. A gray sleeve folds across the polished chair. Low music passes under table, rainy gray shadows. Rain continues writing beyond the cafe gray glass. Section 15, cedar tables remember coffee, rain and coffee hands. Warmth remains and rings beneath the lamps. Porcelain cups return silence to the window table. The room settles around wood and wooden weather. Section porcelain cups gather beneath the hanging amber lanterns. Warm coffee breathes across cedar grain and folded sleeves. Rain marks the window beside silver spoon reflections. Muted guitar notes drift under chairs and steaming cups. Section 2, cup handles turn toward the misted rainy glass panels. Fresh rose scent settles around ceramic polished rims. Gray cardigan cuffs rest near folded paper napkins. Steam climbs through the lamp glow and window rain. Warm tea deepens within the porcelain rounded vessel. Coffee rings darken beneath the resting silver saucer. Leather cushion shape coats beside the cedar table. Rain light bends across the polished window pane. Reflections. A spoon rests beside cups and folded warm receipts. Fresh pastry scent circles through chairs and muted aisles. Amber lamps gather above the steaming porcelain surfaces. Wood Grain lines frame the quiet cup arrangement beneath. Porcelain warm steadies fingers against the rainy weather. Steam clouds drift beside the silver window. Reflections, gray sleeves fold around the cup polished surface. Low piano tones move beneath coffee and lamp circles. Rain gathers beside porcelain cups and cedar coffee. Window lantern shimmer, cross sleeves and folded warmth. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. Section 7 cup rims glow beneath the reflected copper lamp circles. Fresh roast returns beside folded scarves and magazines. Rain threads continue across the misted cafe windows. Wooden chairs hold coats beside warm, steaming drinks. Section 8 porcelain cups line the cedar counter polished evenly. Warm milk scent rises beside cinnamon pastry crumbs. A spoon chimes once against ceramic silver walls. Rain light drifts across the folded gray cardigan sleeves. Section 9 steam lifts between cups and amber hanging reflections. Coffee foam settles beneath the polished porcelain rim. Window rain softens the station lights beyond glass. Muted bass pulses beneath chairs and cedar table legs. Warm chocolate gathers inside the porcelain rounded cup. Silver spoons catch reflections from the hanging lanterns. Fresh rose scent fills the narrow cedar walkway. Rainwater trails slide behind the misted cafe pane. Section 11 cup handles shine beneath amber reflections and folded menus. Leather seats, cradles, scars beside warm porcelain steam. Wood grain patterns deepen beneath ceramic rings and saucers. The window carries rain across silver evening reflections. Rain gathers beside porcelain cups and wooden coffee. Window lantern shimmer, cross sleeves and folded warmth. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. Section 13 steam fades slowly from the final polished cup. Fresh tea warmth lingers inside folded gray sleeves. Amber lamps soften reflections across porcelain silver surfaces. Rain threads continue beyond the cedar window frame. Section 14 coffee rings overlap beside spoons and folded train tickets. Muted guitar notes move across the wooden tabletops. Warm pastry scent settles around chairs and porcelain. Rain light trembles against the hanging lamp reflections. Section 15 porcelain cups remain beneath amber lamps and rain light. Steam leaves pale traces across the misted silver glass. Cedar tables hold warmth beside folded cardigan sleeves. The cafe settles around cups and polished wooden cone. Section 13, magazine pages rest beside cups and folded scarves. Rain gathers across the misted cafe window. Reflections, warm coffee scent rises through cedar grain and steam. Amber lamps soften paper edges and silver spoons beneath. Section, glossy covers shine beneath reflected copper hanging lanterns. Circles, fresh rose drifts between chairs and stacked magazines. Gray cardigan folds touch the corner paper sleeve. Window rain blurs lights beyond the silver glass pane. Magazine photographs catch steam beside porcelain coffee cups. Leather cushions, cradle coats, and folded canvas shoulder bags. Low piano tones pass beneath cedar table reflections. Rain threads cross the pane behind the paper stacks. A folded receipt marks the middle printed article page. Warm tea rests beside sugar packets and silver spoons. Amber lamp circles gather across polished magazine surfaces. Wood grain lines frame cups and paper folded corners. Section 5, magazine spines lean beside the misted rainy window ledge. Fresh pastry scent drifts around paper and porcelain. Steam lifts between pages and folded gray sleeves. Muted bass pulses beneath chairs and cedar tabletops. Rain gathers beside magazine pages and cedar coffee. Window lanterns shimmer across sleeves and folded warmth. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. Section 7, paper corners curl beside the warm polished coffee cups. Fresh rose scent lingers around magazines and cedar. Silver spoons reflect the amber hanging lantern circles. Rainwater trails shimmer behind the folded paper stacks. Section 8, magazine pages spread across the poly-cedar tabletop. Warm milk scent rises beside cinnamon pastry crumbs. Gray cardigan sleeves brush the edge, paper corners muted guitar notes move beneath the steaming porcelain cups. Steam drifts above magazines and folded paper train tickets. Leather seats support scarves beside porcelain silver saucers. Amber reflections gather across glossy printed magazine photographs. Rain light trembles against the misted cafe window pane. Section 10, a paper bookmark rests beside the ceramic coffee cup. Fresh tea warmth settles around cedar grain and steam. Window reflections blur through silver rain and lamp circles. Low piano chords travel beneath chairs and folded coats. Section 11, magazine stacks remain beneath the hanging copper lamp reflections. Warm coffee scent circles around paper and porcelain rims. Wood grain patterns deepen beside folded receipts and silver spoons. Rain threads continue across the gray misted window surface. Rain gathers beside magazine pages and wooden coffee. Window lanterns shimmer across sleeves and folded warmth Section 14, magazine pages close beside cups and folded train tickets. Muted guitar notes drift across cedar polished surfaces. Warm pastry scent lingers around chairs and paper stacks. Rain gathers beyond the misted silver cafe window. Section 15, paper covers remain beneath amber lamps and porcelain steam. Cedar tables hold magazines beside folded cardigan sleeves. Silver spoons reflect rain across the polished glass pane. The cafe settles around paper and wooden calm. Guests gather beneath amber lamps and misted cafe windows. Warm coffee scent drifts across cedar tables and steam. Gray cardigan sleeves rest beside porcelain cups and saucers. Muted guitar notes move beneath chairs and folded scarves. Leather seats cradle coats and canvas shoulder bags together. Fresh roast rises through aisles and polished wooden counters. Silver spoons shine beside warm ceramic coffee vessels. Beneath rainwater trails blur lights beyond the reflective silver pane. Soft conversations settle around cups and folded paper menus. Warm tea gathers between fingers and porcelain silver rims. Amber reflections drift across the polished cedar tabletop grain. Rain threads descend along the misted cafe window surface. Travelers remove scarves beside chairs and steaming coffee cups. Fresh pastry scent circles through aisles and folded receipts. Piano chords beneath hanging copper enter reflections. Window rain softens shapes beyond the silver glass pane. Guests lean toward cups beside folded magazines and sugar. Warm milk scent rises through steam and amber lighting. Gray cardigan folds brush the polished cedar table edge. Rainlight trembles across the misted reflect cafe window. Rain gathers beside shared warmth and cedar coffee. Window lanterns shimmer across leaves and folded warmth. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. Porcelain cups gather between travelers and folded train tickets. Fresh roast scent settles around chairs and narrow aisles. Silver spoons catch reflections from hanging amber lamp circles. Rain marks beneath gas lift the briquette cafe window surface. Dust cradle warm drinks beneath the copper hanging lanterns. Fresh pastry scent drifts around porcelain cups and steam. Leather cushions shape coats beside folded canvas shoulder bags. Muted bass pulses beneath cedar tables and polished chairs. Conversations fade beneath the warm lamp reflections and steam. Warm tea remains inside polished ceramic coffee vessels. Beneath gray sleeves rest near magazines and folded paper seats. Rain threads continue across the misted silver pane glass. Travelers gather belongings beside chairs and porcelain coffee cups. Fresh roast rises from counters and polished cedar aisles. Amber lamps soften reflections across folded scarves and steam. Rain light bends shines through the reflective cafe window glass panels. Panel guests remain beneath the hanging lantern circles, and rain light warm chocolate scent circles around cedar tables and porcelain. Silver spoons rest beside folded menus and paper sleeves. Rain gathers against the misted cafe folded coats. Rain gathers beside shared warmth and wooden coffee. Window lanterns shimmer across leaves and folded warmth. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. Travelers leave warmth and porcelain steam together. Cedar tables hold cups beside folded magazine paper stacks. Silver spoons reflect rain across the polished window glass. The cafe settles around guests in wooden calm. Pastry crumbs rest beside cups on polished cedar tables. Warm coffee scent drifts beneath hanging amber lantern circles. Rain gathers across the misted cafe window, reflections beyond. Gray cardigan sleeves rest beside porcelain cups and saucers. Fresh baked sweetness rises through aisles and folded scarves. Silver spoons shine beside warm ceramic coffee vessels beneath. Leather seats, cradle coats, and canvas shoulder bags together. Rainwater trails blur lights beyond the reflective silver pane. Butter pastry layers rest beside folded paper napkins carefully. Warm tea gathers between fingers and porcelain silver rims. Amber reflections drift across the polished cedar tabletop grain. Muted piano chords move beneath chairs and steaming cups. Pastry plates gather crumbs beside polished cedar table edges. Fresh roast scent circles through aisles and folded receipts. A spoon rests beneath hanging copper lantern reflections softly. Window rain softens shapes beyond the silver glass pane. Warm milk scent rises through steam and pastry sweetness. Gray cardigan folds brush the polished cedar table edge. Coffee foam settles within the rounded porcelain ceramic vessel. Rain light trembles across the misted reflective cafe window surface. Rain gathers beside pastry warmth and cedar coffee. Window lanterns shimmer across leaves and folded warmth. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. Pastry crumbs scatter beside folded magazines and sugar packets. Fresh roast scent settles around chairs and narrow aisles. Silver spoons catch reflections from hanging amber lamp circles. Rainwater marks continue beyond the reflective cafe window surface. Butter scent drifts around porcelain cups and folded scarves. Fresh pastry warmth rises beneath the copper hanging cushion shake coats beside canvas shoulder bags together. Muted bass pulses beneath cedar tables and polished chairs. Pastry plates remain beneath the warm lamp reflections and steam. Warm tea rests inside polished ceramic coffee vessels beneath. Gray sleeves fold near paper menus and silver spoons. Rain threads continue across the misted silver pane glass. Fresh baked layers rest beside porcelain coffee cups together. Fresh roast rises from counters and polished cedar aisles. Amber lamps soften reflections across folded scarves and steam. Rain light bends through the reflective cafe window glass panels. Section 11. Pastry sweetness lingers beneath the hanging lantern circles. Warm chocolate scent circles around cedar tables and porcelain. Silver spoons rest beside folded receipts and paper sleeves. Muted beat softens the misted cafe window reflections. Pastry crumbs gather beside chairs and folded train ticks beneath. Fresh rose scent lingers around scarves and porcelain cups. Muted piano chords polish cedar tabletops beneath. Rain light softens the reflective pane beyond the warm booth. Section 15. Pastry warmth remains beneath lamps and porcelain steam together. Cedar tables hold cups beside folded magazine paper stacks. Silver spoons reflect rain across the polished window glass. The cafe settles around sweetness and wooden cone. Section 1. Cedar counter shine beneath hanging copper lantern reflections warmly. Warm coffee scent drifts across polished porcelain cup rims. Rain gathers behind the misted cafe window silver glass. Gray cardigan sleeves rest beside folded menus and receipts. Counter shelves hold cups beside stacked paper pastry sleeves. Fresh roast rises through aisles and polished wooden surfaces. Silver spoons catch reflections from amber hanging lantern circles. Leather seats cradle coats and canvas shoulder bags together. Tea gathers beside the polished cedar counter edge. Muted guitar notes move beneath chairs and steaming porcelain. Rainwater trails blur lights beyond the reflective window pane. Wood grain patterns deepen beneath folded scarves and silver spoons. Porcelain cups line the counter beside folded train tickets. Fresh pastry scent circles around steaming ceramic coffee vessels. Amber reflections drift across polished cedar counter grain beneath. Window rain soften shapes beyond the silver glass surface. Counter corners glow beneath warm lamp reflections and steam. Gray cardigan folds brush the polished cedar wooden edge. Coffee foam settles within the rounded ceramic porcelain vessel. Muted piano chords pass beneath chairs and folded coats. Rain gathers beside counter warmth and cedar coffee. Window lantern shimmer across sleeves and folded warmth. Rain cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. Fresh rose scent settles around counters and narrow aisles. Silver spoons rest beside folded menus and sugar packets. Leather cushion shaped coats beside steaming porcelain coffee cups. Rain light trembles across the misted reflective cafe window surface. Counter reflections drift beneath a hanging amber lantern circles. Warm milk scent rises beside cinnamon pastry crumbs. Beneath gray sleeves rest near polished cedar surfaces and porcelain muted bass pulses beneath chairs and folded canvas bags. Counter shelves frame cups and folded magazine paper stacks. Warm tea remains inside polished ceramic coffee vessels beneath. Rain threads continue across the misted silver pane glass. Amber lamps soften reflections across steam and wooden grain. Porcelain cups gather beside the polished cedar counter. Together, fresh roast rises from aisles and folded scarf corners. Silver spoons shine beneath hanging copper lantern reflections brightly. Window rain blurs station lights beyond reflective silver glass. Rain gathers beside counter warmth and wooden coffee. Window lanterns shimmer across sleeves and folded warmth. Rainy window cafe beside resting hands and coffee. Rainy window cafe beside calm hearts and coffee. Rain gathers beside counter edges glow beneath steam and amber lantern circles. Fresh tea warmth settles inside folded gray cardigan sleeves. Wood grain patterns deepen beside cups and silver spoon handles. Rain gathers against the misted cafe window reflections. Section 14, counter silence lingers beside chairs and folded train tickets. Fresh pastry scent remains around scarves and porcelain cups. Muted piano chords, polished cedar tabletops beneath. Rain light softens the reflective pane beyond the warm booth. Section 15, counter reflections remain beneath lamps and porcelain. Steam together, cedar surfaces hold cups beside folded magazine paper stacks. Silver spoons reflect rain across the polished window glass. The cafe settles around counters and wooden cones.